What would you do if two of your main income streams started declining at the same time? That's the situation that one of my longtime customers, a legacy blogger, found herself in. And when I looked at her business model, I found something that a lot of people in her situation miss completely. I recently put out a call to the members of my program, 10K monthly content system, offering a business model review that I could use as a video case study. One of my members volunteered right away, and honestly, her situation was so relatable that I knew I had to share it with you. So she has been in the online space for over 16 years. She's built a lot of really great content and has genuinely helped a lot of people. But she's dealing with a two-front revenue squeeze. Her blog ad revenue has been declining for a couple of years now, which is something that a lot of legacy bloggers are experiencing. And her digital product sales have dropped at the same time. So it's two things hitting simultaneously. And when that happens, the instinct is to create more content, more offers, more products, more effort. But in a lot of cases I see, including hers, the answer isn't more, it's different, specifically a different business model. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I found when I brought her through my lifestyle first business model design process so that if you find yourself in a similar situation, you can follow along. Just a note, this volunteer asked to remain anonymous, and I completely respect that. So I've redacted her name, her business name, and the specific names of her offers and frameworks throughout this episode. But the strategy is real, the numbers are real, and I promise the lessons apply directly to your business, regardless if you happen to be a legacy blogger. Like I mentioned, our case study subject has been in her niche for over 16 years. She has a real body of work, established methods, and a genuine community. She is not somebody who is brand new to this, but right now, she's at a crossroads. Her ad revenue, which used to be a reliable income stream, has been declining, and her digital product sales have followed right with it. Her traffic has dropped as well, right, as Google is sending less people. She used to be at 6K per month consistently, but that's dropped to just $1,000 a month. So her first revenue goal milestone that she's working towards is stabilizing at $3,000 per month. What I found when I looked at her business model wasn't a content problem. It wasn't even a traffic problem. It was a structure problem. Her current setup requires too many individual sales every single month with no compounding mechanism to make hitting her goal easier over time. That's especially common when we're looking at lower price point products. So let me walk you through each step of the business model design process. Step one was to get clear on her lifestyle factors and non-negotiables. I always start here because your business has to work with your life. Otherwise, you're never going to stick with it long enough to see results. This case study subject has about 20 to 25 hours available per week to work on her business. She has caregiving responsibilities that require a flexible schedule, and she's dealing with unpredictable energy due to perimenopause. Her energy givers were teaching, creating content when it feels connected to her mission, and selling that's rooted in service rather than putting on pressure. Her energy takers were the unpredictable energy cycles, the emotional crash after launches, and client-facing conversations that drain her rather than fill her up. Her non-negotiables were a flexible schedule to accommodate for her caregiving responsibilities, a workload that doesn't follow a boom and bust pattern of one-off launches, and selling that feels genuinely aligned with who she is. So my recommendation was to design a flexible, ideal work calendar with time blocks for each task type: content creation, marketing, delivery, and admin. Not hard deadlines, a perpetual to-do list that she can work through with for each of these categories at whatever pace her energy allows that day. On high energy days, she moves faster. On low energy days, she can pull from the same list at a gentler pace. This removes the guilt, the falling behind trap, and avoids the all or nothing launch cycles that lead to weeks of recovery afterwards. So here's what I want you to ask yourself if you're finding yourself in a similar energy boat. Is your current business model designed for your real capacity or the capacity that you have on your best days? Because those two things are often very different, and your business model should always be built around the first one. Once lifestyle factors are mapped out, positioning is the next place that I look, because your positioning is the lens that everything else gets filtered through: your offers, your content, your sales conversations. Clear positioning makes every decision easier, and alternatively, fuzzy positioning makes everything harder. Our case study subject has been in her niche long enough to have developed real depth, right? She teaches home organization, decluttering, and decorating. Three distinct things that she knows inside out. And that's actually where the positioning challenge comes from, because when you're selling to people, they don't necessarily see these three things as one cohesive solution. They tend to see them as separate needs. So some people want to tackle the clutter, some people want to redecorate, and some people can't even think about decorating until that that clutter or that chaos is gone. She told me that she's questioned her own decision to bundle all three together because people see these as separate things. And she's right, they do. But the problem isn't that she teaches all three of them. The problem is that she's been selling all three of them at once rather than sequencing them or bundling them strategically. My recommendation was to restructure her signature framework into three clear phases, which she already has, right? Phase 1 tackles decluttering, phase 2 is organization, and phase 3 is designing and decorating once the foundation is in place. Her core offer delivers phase 1 and 2. Design becomes the natural, exciting next step, the upsell, right? The thing that people are ready for once their home finally feels functional and calm. This isn't about shrinking her expertise. All of her knowledge is still in the business and still in her offers. It's just sequenced in a way that makes sense to buyers and creates a natural progression instead of one overwhelming bundle. And it also gives her a much cleaner content strategy. Every piece of content maps to one of the three phases and speaks to someone at that specific point in their journey. Here's the question to ask yourself. So if somebody landed on your website or they were perusing your content, would they immediately understand what stage of their journey that you help with and what the logical next step is for them? If the answer is no, that's probably worth sitting with. So with lifestyle factors and positioning mapped out, the next place to look was her offer suite, because your offers are where your positioning meets your revenue goals. And if your offer architecture doesn't fit your capacity or create a clear pathway to your targets, it doesn't matter how good your content is, the math just won't work, right? You can't fight that. This is where the biggest structural issues in her business showed up. Her current signature offer is a self-paced course at $197 one time. No recurring revenue, no structural reason for buyers to stay engaged after the purchase. And here's where the math became really important. If her goal was $3,000 a month, she needs 15 sales of that $197 course every single month. Sure, the digital products and ad revenue might help, but the bulk of it is going to come from that signature program. That's what it's designed to do. Starting from zero each month, and to do that consistently without a launch or a big ad spend is going to be tough. That is the business model that's been burning her out. And that's also the model that makes her revenue feel so feast and famine. She launches, she gets a burst of sales, the promotion stops because she's burnt out and the revenue dries up. Here's the shift. What if instead of a $197 one-time course, her signature offer was a $27 per month membership? To hit her $3,000 per month, she needs 111 active members. Those members stack each month. Month 1, she gets 10 members. She carries those 10 into month 2. She adds 10 more. Now carrying 20 into month 3. She's not starting from zero. She's building on what already exists. That compounding effects is what changes everything. And she already has the content to fuel it. 16 years of teaching in her niche means she's not starting from scratch. She can systemize what already exists and deliver it as a recurring monthly experience rather than a static one-time course that buyers complete or not and just leave. The redesigned offer suite looks like this. So a monthly membership as the signature offer, a design and decorating course as the natural upsell for members who are ready for phase 3, or people who can just purchase that one directly, right? If they're more interested in design and decor. A standalone home habits course as the downsell for people who aren't ready to commit to a membership yet, and a monthly paid challenge or workshop as the primary entry offer, around $15 early bird and $27 regularly, with an order bump for a VIP experience, which includes Q&A or coaching calls for the group at an additional price. She doesn't need to start with 111 members. She needs to start with 1 and then 2 and focus on designing an experience so good that they stay, which for her, with her natural skill set and how she makes her audience feel, is going to be much easier and more aligned. So here's the question for you. If selling one-time products and courses, have you done the math on how many new sales you need every single month to hit your revenue goal? And is that number something that you can realistically hit without burning out? With the redesigned offer suite in place, the next step is reverse engineering the revenue plan, because it's one thing to have the right offers. It's another to know exactly how many sales of each one you need to actually hit your goal. This is the step that most people skip, and it's also the step that makes everything feel so much more achievable once you do it. But first, I want to address why I'm recommending a membership model here, because memberships are not the right fit for every business or every business owner. What makes them worth considering for our case study subject specifically are her product price points. When your products are priced at $27 or $197, you need a lot of individual sales to move the needle every single month towards your revenue goal. MRR, or monthly recurring revenue, becomes a really powerful lever for simplifying your path to your monthly goal, because instead of chasing 50 new sales every single month and starting over from zero, you're building a base that carries forward and compounds. The lower your price point, the more that compounding effect really matters. So let's look at what a $3,000 a month actually looks like in terms of your revenue plan with the new model. So the monthly challenge or workshop becomes the primary entry point and sales engine. And here's something I love about the way this is structured. The challenge is priced at $15 early bird and $27 regularly, which is the same price as the monthly membership. That's intentional for two reasons. Number one, because members get access to the monthly challenge as part of their membership experience. So we're not creating additional work. So the challenge is both a standalone paid event for new people and a retention and value driver for existing members. Second, because it price anchors the membership perfectly. Someone pays $27 for a single challenge and then discovers they can get that every single month plus everything else in the membership for the same price. That's an easy yes. At a 5% conversion rate, she needs around 2,000 page visitors or 100 engaged leads per month to generate 100 signups. That's our goal. Of these 100 signups for the challenge, about 25 add the VIP order bump at around $47 estimate here, generating approximately $1,175 in additional revenue right there. The challenge then becomes the conversion event for the membership, and at a 10% conversion rate from a paid challenge into the membership, she's adding around 10 new members per month at $27 each. Those members carry into the next month and the month after that. Layer in 1 to 2 upsell sales of the design course and a downsell here and there. And by month 3 or 4, she's hitting that $3,000 a month really easily from a combination of challenge revenue and compounding membership revenue without a single big launch, putting tons of pressure on any one product to pull all the weight, or relying on dwindling ad revenue. Now, just to be transparent about where these conversion estimates are coming from, they're based on patterns that I see across multiple clients running similar business models, and they reflect what's realistic when your leads are already warm and bought into what you do. So they're a starting point, not a guarantee. She'll dial in all these numbers based on her own experiences running the paid challenges or workshop system each month and adjust from there as she sees her actual numbers come in. That is the difference between revenue, though, that resets and revenue that stacks every month with a one-time product she's starting from zero. Versus with a membership, every month she starts at whatever her current member count generates and adds to it. So same marketing effort, completely different results. So here is the question for you. Have you actually mapped out what your revenue plan looks like broken down by offer? Not a general goal, but the specific number of sales at each price point that adds up to your monthly target. Because until you can see it clearly, it is really hard to know whether the path that you're on is actually going to get you there. Once your offer suite and revenue plan are clear, the next question is, how are people actually going to find you and move through your offer ecosystem? Your marketing and sales plan is the engine that drives everything at this point. Without it, even the best designed offer suite is just going to sit there collecting dust. So I use a framework called the TLC method to plan this: traffic, leads, and conversions. 3 things that every business owner needs working together to generate consistent revenue. Most business owners have at least one of these running, but rarely all 3 connected in a way that flows smoothly from one to the next. For our case study subject, all 3 existed, but they were disconnected. She had real traffic infrastructure from 16 years of content creation across multiple platforms. She has powerful lead magnets that have shown that they convert, but there was no consistent pathway taking someone from traffic to lead to paying customer. Every sale required a manual push. So here's how the redesigned TLC plan comes together. For traffic, for her specifically, the focus for the first 90 days is SEO driven content. She's already working on this, so I figure, just keep working on it. There's no need to start a new plan right now. Just make sure that is working before we move on to something else. So builds compounding long-term traffic without requiring her to show up and perform every single day. She's also on Instagram and doing reels and doing a big push there right now, which, carry on with what is working. Every piece of content ties back to the monthly challenge or workshop theme, giving each post a clear job to do rather than just existing for the sake of consistency. For leads, the monthly challenge or workshop becomes the primary opt-in and relationship builder. A freebie specifically connected to phases 1 and 2 of her framework feeds cold traffic into the membership pathway, and every new subscriber enters a welcome sequence that naturally leads towards the next challenge registration. Then circling back quickly to traffic once the SEO foundation is in place, and the next layer is to add on paid ads pointing directly to her freebie. The goal is to fund these ads with revenue from her standalone digital product, so the growth engine is essentially self-financing rather than coming out of her pocket or the revenue plan. For conversions, the paid challenge or workshop system does the heavy lifting, and it's the event that warms people up, delivers real value, and then makes the membership invitation feel like the obvious next step in their world, right? Post-purchase email sequences on every entry offer automatically walk buyers through towards the membership, so that no sale is ever a dead end again. One engine, traffic flows to the challenge converts to the membership leads to the upsell, and everything else can be layered in later once this core system is running consistently. Another little bonus here is that she can take all of those workshops, those one-off workshops that she runs or the paid challenges, and turn those into more digital products in her shop that can also help finance that ad revenue. So you start to see how these things compound. Here's the question for you. Is there one clear pathway in your business right now that takes someone from first contact to your best offer or your signature offer? Or are you spreading your energy across multiple systems and not getting enough traction on any of them? If you are watching this and thinking, I need to take a closer look at my own business model, I have 2 ways to help. So first, you can grab my free Lifestyle First business model template. It's the same framework that I've just walked through in this case study, walking you through the lifestyle factors, positioning, offer suite, revenue plan, and marketing and sales strategy. It is the best place to start if you want to map out your own business model and see where the gaps are. The link is in the description. However, if you are wanting somebody to do this with you, to look at your specific business model with fresh strategic eyes and help you design something that actually fits your life and hits your revenue goals, that is exactly what I do inside of my coach consulting program. We're going to sit down together. We're going to go through your entire business model and map out a custom 90-day scaling strategy around your capacity, your offers, your positioning, and your goals, right? There are no cookie cutter frameworks here, just a clear plan designed specifically for you. If you remember just one thing from this video, here's what I want it to be. When revenue drops from 2 directions at once, the answer is almost never more. It's different, a different structure, a model that requires fewer sales to maintain momentum, one that compounds instead of resets, and one that fits the real hours and real energy available instead of some fantasy version of your schedule or requiring you to be at your best energy level every single day. If you recognized yourself anywhere in this story, that's not a failure, it's clarity, and clarity is exactly where good decisions start. If this was helpful, I would love it if you would subscribe and leave a comment below letting me know which part of the business model design process resonated with you. And if you want to grab the free Lifestyle First business model template, the link is in the description.